This is a, number 3 defense? I mean, it's a dream for a quarterback to have somebody that's going to give you the ball back so much. Tell me about playing for, did you know these guys were great in the summer? When did you first sense it, and what's it like playing for a defense like this?
Yeah, it's cool to have those guys that always have your back. Whether you do good, something bad, they always just they go out there and whatever, they'll get you the ball back, they'll hold them to a field goal. It's just, I went against them all OTAs in training camp, and the D line, it's different. It's different when that D line's coming after you, and then in the back end they're relentless.
Does it change how you play yourself, knowing that they're around?
You try not to let it affect you too much, but in the back of your mind, you're like, don't make a bad decision. We got a great defense. They're going to help you out, especially early on in the season, just getting back from the knee and everything.
Does it help you be more aggressive?
Oh, yeah. Well, that part, it's kind of, and I think Kyle has that mentality too. 4th and 1, you're past the 50-yard line. Do you want to go for it here? And when you got a defense like we got, it makes that decision a little easier.
So Kyle, I played for his dad, and I know you've been with Mike a little bit last year, and they're very similar.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're really both amazing offensive minds and play callers, and I really appreciate both of them. When I was with Mike, he was super aggressive. He was like, he'd grab me by the shoulders and we're gonna do it. Is Kyle like super aggressive like that, like his dad?
Oh, yeah. Well, if there's an opportunity for a big play, he wants you to take that no matter what. Even if you get a completion underneath, it's kind of like, well, yeah, you got 12 yards, but there's 30 yards right there you could have got. And I love that mentality because as a quarterback, you'd love to have that.
My nickname for Mike was, Mike, let's do it. Let's go over it one more time, Shanahan. Is Kyle the same way?
Yeah, in certain aspects. When it comes up to certain plays, 3rd down, red zone, when it's the little details, he's so good at explaining it to guys, especially the younger receivers and stuff, and just gets them on the right page.
I know you spent some time with Mike last year, and so you know what I'm talking about. He's peas and carrots with he and I. It's great. The culture here, you've not been here a long time, but it feels like with John and Kyle, they've been trying to build a culture. How would you describe it? Because you've come from a championship place in New England. How have John and Kyle tried to create that championship feeling here?
Well, it's all about good people. It's about getting the right people in the building, and from the first day that I talked to them, that's all they talked about was getting good people. Because everyone is talented in the NFL. Coaches work hard, players work hard, but when you bring in good people and everyone's working together and has the same mindset, and I really truly feel like we have a lot of those people, and it's trending in the right direction.
Are you sick of hearing about the old days?
It's humbling. It reminds you of where this all started and everything. When I first got traded here, we only had 1 win at the time and everything, and we've come a long way. So it's moving in the right direction.
Yeah, no, it's getting ridiculous. What are you, 18-2? What's the? I know you don't keep track of that, but it's amazing what you guys have done. The 8-0 start, everyone else is shocked. Not shocked, but surprised around the country. Like the 49ers are 8-0. How about you guys?
It's a great place to be. It's one of those things before the season. You always have that mentality. We're going to win every game. We're going to blow teams out. But then when you see it actually play out and the hard work paying off, it's really a good feeling.
Do you feel like, not that you're bullies, but do you feel like you're 8-0 going out when you're warming up against the Cardinals, now the Seahawks? Do you feel like because you started from a space where last couple of years not so great. This is a big transition for us to watch. Have you guys transitioned now where you're the big dogs on campus and that's how it feels?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's a mindset that we've had the whole year, just locked in.
Before. Even before, like you guys had this, right?
And it's the consistency, and it starts with Kyle and John, and it just trickles down to everybody. And you come in every day, put in the work, have the same killer mindset, and I think all of our guys have that, and it's trickled onto the field.
It feels like you have a great locker room for a team that has not had a lot of success. It feels like it, to me, knowing their personalities, Joe and Richard and George, there's a sense of cohesiveness in this locker room that feels like it's should have been in championship. It just feels like a championship feel.
Yeah.
You've been there in New England.
Yeah.
How would you relate that to here?
Well, it's the interaction, I think, at least, between the offense and defense, the O-lineman and the specialist. People that don't interact with each other on the field, but in the locker room, they're getting along better than anybody. I think that's what truly makes a team tight-knit. Everyone's pulling in the same direction. And it's just when you play that, or when you have that in the locker room, it translates onto the field with the complementary football.
Yeah. You've done something quite remarkable amongst many things, but one of the things I've noticed is being one of the highest paid players in the league, but your teammates look at you as one of them. Like you've really ingratiated yourself to your teammates. You do a great job. How have you done that? That's hard to do.
Yeah, well, I never wanted to be that guy, above everyone else and in that light. I've always tried to be one of the guys, and I don't know if it's mentality growing up with 3 brothers and them always humbling you, whatever it is. But
probably a lot of that.
Yeah,
be
I'm
honest
sure.
with you.
Yeah, 2 older brothers, they'll keep you humble. But I don't know. It's just I like being one of the guys. I like being interacting with everybody. It's good stuff.
Half the time I feel like a Jim McMahon headbutt's coming from you.
I actually hit Emmanuel with one of those after his touchdown last week, and he's not a huge headbutt guy, so I learned that going forward.
How about the big personalities in your locker room, especially with George? Mm-hmm. You played with Gronk. You played with some great tight end, Travis Kelce, obviously a big personality. Seems like tight end is the new wide receiver nowadays with these big personalities. How does George fit in with everybody?
It's awesome. He's one of those guys. He's a high energy guy, obviously, but it translates to everyone else and brings everyone else up around him. And you love having a guy like that, And all the tight ends, Dwelly, Selleck, Levine, all those guys they're dogs. I mean, they go out there and I'm telling you, they're the dogs of the offense. They get, the run game, the pass game, whatever it is, they're doing the dirty work, and it's awesome to have guys like that.
You were in a locker room, in a quarterback room with Jacoby, with Tom, and yourself in 2016, and the success that all 3 of you are having this season. Any funny stories from you 3 of you in the old quarterback meeting room that you could share with us?
On TV, probably not, but off camera, I could probably tell you. I mean, we had some good times at the Kentucky Derby and everything like that. Off season. I mean, all those guys are great dudes. We had a great room, and it was a really fun year.
It's fun to see what Jacoby's doing, yeah?
Oh, it's awesome. And honestly, I mean, when we were in New England, you saw that. And I mean, on scout team, when he got his couple starts, I mean, the dude's a player, and he takes it very seriously.
You and I had a similar history with playing with the Kings. I played with Joe, and you played with Tom. And I always felt like it was important to be able to see what being great looks like, so that you knew, I don't have any doubts of what an expectation is. Can you describe that for yourself?
Yeah, well, I think a big part of it is you think when you come into the league, my preparation is better than anybody's. I work hard, but then you see it from a professional standpoint, and it's a whole different level, and you're not even close to where you need to be. And I think as a young player, it's the best thing for you to see that, because it teaches you, all right, this is where I need to get to, this is what I need to improve on. And to see Tom do it, like you saw Joe do it, I mean, you can't ask for a better role model.
Do you feel pressure in that relationship? Do you feel pressure that I had to learn how to deal with replacing Joe, not replacing Tom in New England, but there's still that sense of what it feels like to be great. Man, I got to get there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely when you're young, you don't know any better. So you think, this is the way to do it. This is the way everyone does it. So you try to hold yourself to that standard. And then when I got my first couple starts there, I mean, the pressure, it's real. And so you got to live up to those expectations, but at the same time, you got to be yourself.
In the locker room right now, you are 8-0. Is there a different feel for the, you guys are coming in the Kings, and the expectations now are Super Bowl, I'm sure. Is the conversation different? Is there a feel that's different in the locker room because you're 8-0?
Honestly, it's not that different. There's a confidence. There definitely is a confidence, but there's not, we haven't been talking Super Bowl. We haven't been talking playoffs, all that stuff. 1 week at a time. And honestly, we've taken that mindset this entire season, and it's worked out well for us.
Seattle, historically, in this division, have been the bullies. Mm-hmm. What does Monday night, the sense of what Monday night means?
It's a great opportunity for us. We've had a couple, division games this year. Our division games are always going to be tough. We know that. So it's going to be a dogfight out there on Monday night, but we're looking forward to it.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.